Hello everyone. As you can see, it is later in the day here in southwest of Mexico. Today I'm going to show you guys how to start blacksmithing, or what tools you need to anyway. Here's the tools I was using whenever I started. Big file, little file, a way to punch holes in steel. This is a steel punch right here. Way to cut steel, simple hacksaw, a hammer, you need this, and a way to heat steel. That's a propane forge you can get off of eBay for $120, but if you want to go cheaper, you go to your backyard and you use the stuff you're standing on, dirt and mud. You make a clay mud mixture and add charcoal to it, fine ground up charcoal. And then you make a dome shape, or just a box basically. And then you throw any kind of fuel you can find in it, such as firewood or anything. You need a way to hold the steel. 1 or 2 C-clamps. This is what I used right here. In fact, this one right here is an antique I found in my barn. It's probably the first one I started with. Now you need a way to shape steel. This is a big nice anvil I have right here. It's 100 and something pounds. I found a good deal on Facebook for a little over $200, but some people may not have $200. Well, do you have a junk sledgehammer laying around you never use? You can use one of these. Lay it down on a log like that and you have a makeshift anvil. This will work just fine for small projects such as knife making or just small decorative blacksmith projects. Now, you have a way to heat metal with a forge, the cheap forge, or a homemade forge using dirt like I used or started with. You have a way to punch holes in metal. You have a way to hold the metal. You have a way to cut and shape the metal. All of this together right here, $6 each for this, that's 12. I want to say another $12, so that's 24. Another $12. Now you need material too. You can start with a railroad spike, or you can start with an old file, or anything that has metal that's basically made out of metal. I don't recommend using a railroad spike for knives because it's soft, but you can. A little bit more money and you want to buy something better, I recommend getting a cheap belt sander off of eBay, or you can even find them at Harbor Freight for 70 or 80 bucks. But I don't really recommend them for long-term use. I've tested them, they don't work very well. Now, for this, if you have a little bit more money, you can buy an $80 angle grinder from Walmart. In fact, I'm still using mine 8 years later. It's working just fine. And if you don't want to use a steel punch to punch through glowing metal, make holes, go find yourself a cheap $70 drill press from Harbor Freight, or even, you don't even need that. You can use a hand drill, just plain carpenter's hand drill. Now, if you have more money other than 12 bucks to get a little bit more expensive tools, go get yourself a cheap vise. These will work just fine though. Now that I got everything set up, I grabbed this tint post from Walmart. It does not make good steel for knives, but you can make small decorative blacksmith projects like I said before. It does have a layer of paint or something on it, and I'm not sure what kind of steel it is. I'm pretty sure it is carbon steel of some sort. It's also, I forgot to mention, you want something like these to hold your hot piece of metal. These were $5 at Harbor Freight. All right, so I have a little bit too much material here for what I have in mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a hot cut. You can cut it with your hacksaw like I showed earlier, but I'm just gonna cut it. There we go. So now I have a little bit of material right here to work with. It's like half the material. All right, so I'm gonna use my blacksmith hammer here, but you should get the same results with a ball peen hammer. It's just a little bit heavier. so it can go faster. So we have a point here. What I would do is I'd normally forge the point, but we already have that. So I want to go back a little ways and start thinning it down right behind the point. I'm going to use the peen side of the hammer for this, so the way I can move material. Keep turning your piece. Every time you hit the piece, turn it just a little bit so you can keep that round shape. You see, right now I'm just eyeballing it, but a good pair of calipers or anything that can really measure the width and the length, even a ruler would work. You also want to watch the color of your steel. Right now it's about a black heat. I want to use the corner of the anvil to help you out here. I'm not the only person who's did videos like this. I recommend go watching Alex Steele's video. He's a professional at this, been doing this a lot longer than I have. Throw it back in the forge, heat it up. I want to thin it down just a little bit. Then I'm going to make the leaf right here. I realize that I have too much material here again, so I'm gonna have to do another cut on it. Just gonna smooth all those hammer marks out. Okay, I have the general shape I want it right now, so I'm gonna throw it back in the forge, and then I'm gonna spread this out and cut it right about here. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the flat side of my hammer. Remember to flip your piece every now and then. You don't want to work on just one side. That's pretty important actually, so keep that in mind. I still want to bring it out a little bit. So I'm going to throw it back in the forge and flip my hammer to the round side or the peen side of your hammer. Just going to draw the material out. Your piece. Put different angles of your hammer to give it different texturing. Okay, I'm going to throw it back in the forge and do a hot cut right about here. Now from here, you have a shape of a leaf, you have the stem of the leaf. What do you want to do with it from here? Well, like I did with other projects, I would thin this out, make it a little bit longer and skinnier, then I'd curl it in and make a key ring out of it. Or, what I can do is I'll flatten a little spot out right here, and I'll make this a hook. You can put this up on your wall, like for a door, and hang certain things off of it. That's what I'm going to do with this one here. Yeah, there's a nice flat spot, so that way we can put some holes through that. If I had other tools, this would be easier, but for the sake of the video, I'm using the cheapest tools possible. Punch, put it where I want it. There we go. Punch through finally, after back and forth, going back and forth at it. Just tap your piece like that, it should come free. There we go. You have a leaf, you have a hook. That's your first blacksmith project you have ever made. Keep that in a box, keep that on your door, keep that on your wall, and show your great-grandchildren how it's done. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.